Spencer, the youngest.
Hello.
Spencer just turned 16. Hi, Spence.
Hi, Dad.
Reinventing Marc Clarke is really a...
Lifestyle.
Okay, so what radio job do you feel like I was the most excited about that you can remember?
I think you were the most excited about New York because, like, it's New York. You know what I mean? Actually, being honest, I think you were the most excited for You and Moms because you're such a family man and you love Mom and stuff like that.
When did you see me most disappointed as far as career goes?
Probably at the HUR and how you would just always never be, like, super enthusiastic to tell us about work. It was never anything exciting. It was always just something a little frustrating.
You also kind of seen my weight struggles, my ups and downs. Is there a, can you tell when I'm on my, grind fitness-wise or not? Do I act different?
Yes.
What's the difference?
The difference is, I think, like, sometimes, and this isn't a crack or anything because I love you, but I think sometimes you feel a little bit defeated, so you kind of allow certain things to happen, like...
Who is Marc Clarke?
Loving, goal-oriented, positive, hard worker.
How do I handle my wife's success?
I think you do what a lot of men don't do, which is actually congratulate their wife, because there's that whole connotation with like not wanting to be outshined by a woman, especially. You know what I mean? And I think you are very you're very supporting. You know what I mean? And you're a different breed. You're rare.
So you see how the pattern that me and Mom have as a marriage. How does it make you look at how you want your marriage to be?
Well, I always say that, like, you're the type of man who, like, if Mom's, like, she needs something, like, at, like, 3 a.m., she's like, can you run to the store and, like, give me, like, a bag of chips? You run to the store and get a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Like, it made me, like, I'm not impressed easily. You know what I mean? Like, if, like, a boy's like, like, I'll buy you this, da-da-da, I'm not going to be like, oh, like, that's amazing, that's great. You know what I mean? Like, because it's, like, you go beyond just, like, I don't know, like, you've never been like, yes, you like, y'all spoil us, like, yes, but like, you haven't based the entire, like, the love that you and Mom give us off of, like, spoiling us or, like, material things, you know what I mean? They
always say that, your daughters, they got you under their, the daughters got you wrapped around their finger. Y'all have me wrapped around your finger?
No, you ain't buying this or whatever.
All right, love you so much, you're beautiful.
Love you too, Dad.
And this is my middle baby,
Hey.
SKYLAR, who's now 18.
Yeah.
You've seen a household where your mom has been really the breadwinner most of the time.
Yeah.
What impact does that have on you as a woman, and how does it make you feel about me and men in general?
Well, for me, first of all, to answer the first question, with the financial thing, I think it was never, while I have noticed it, I think kids notice, like, okay, but this is what Mom and Dad are going through. It's never felt like a lot of panic, or it's never felt like we are going to lose the house. And maybe that's why I kind of I'm not as worried with it. And I also feel that I shouldn't be worried with it, like in terms of whatever's going on. I feel like we always are good, but sometimes I feel that I really wish that more opportunities would open up to be more lucrative, if that's the right word. You've never made it a source of stress. You've never made it a source of sadness. Not to say you shouldn't be in touch with that, but I think that you don't let it conquer you. And especially, I think I've noticed I think it's had a positive effect, at least on me. I don't know about the girls, because it showed me masculinity isn't always about you are what you make or you are this. And I don't think you let that define you. Yeah. But for you, it's like, no, you're still a person. You're still a successful person regardless of what you make, because that's you. And I think that has given me a positive view on, in the future, if I ever want to be with someone that, let's say they're like struggling, I don't have that feeling of, I think that's taken away that feeling of judgment, or that feeling that they're not a good, good spouse or whatever because of the money situation. Because I think, if you're confident in yourself and you're confident in your abilities, it doesn't really matter. Money's money.
View of marriage does it give you, noticing our marriage?
I think it takes away the pressure that I always associated with marriage when I see that you guys are just relaxed with each other. I think you guys can be yourselves around each other. And there's never been a time, even if you have, even if you disagree with each other, there's never a time where I'm like, oh, they're really going through it, or they don't like each other anymore. I always think there's a certain constant level of happiness there, regardless of how the emotions are on a certain day. and it really has given me a more laid back, I think, view of marriage. So,
Well, Scott, I think you and I have argued the most.
yes.
And so who would you say, who is Marc Clarke?
I would say that Marc Clarke is innovative, creative, imaginative. Is that you are always coming up with new ideas. You are confident. You're a kind person. You're helpful. You're the opposite of egotistical. You're like humble, but you're talented. And also I think you're great. You really love your craft, which I've noticed. I always joke with Mom, like, he's always doing a radio show. Like, even back in the WHUR days, I would always hear your voice somewhere, like, Marc Clarke, I'd be like, what is he doing? Like, he's not on the clock right now. But you really do love your job. So, yeah, I would say that you love your job and you are just very passionate about what you do.
Thanks, Kaka.
Thank you.
She's the sweetest. All right, here's the oldest. Sydney's now 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sydney, do you remember when I was at the Big Fat Morning Show?
Slightly, a little bit.
When was I happiest, do you think, in my career? When do you remember?
I think at the beginning of Allison and Mark at HUR, you were the most happiest and excited about everything.
Afterwards, or just in general through the years, have you ever seen me in a downtime?
Not really. I feel like by down, do you mean like low?
Yeah, like depressed or down or changed.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way we think in the house is more so like everything is more like a lesson, and it can get rough, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that we think of things in terms of lows or highs, but even at that, like, I've never seen you like depressed or like, you know what I'm saying? Or because of a job just like in a low place. I've seen you in like moments where you like get your motivation and you're ready to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be like, all right, I need to switch things up a little bit. But I still wouldn't even call those lows. So I don't think there are any like down times, low times, or anything like that.
So
You know what I'm
as the
saying?
oldest, Sydney, and you have a boyfriend now, we're gonna meet. But what do you notice about the relationship that me and your mother have, our marriage, and how does it make you feel about marriage? And actually, you were raised in a household where your grandparents were also married, and you all witnessed that,
Yeah.
and many of your friends are married too. So you're actually the exception, not the rule, when it comes to not just Americans, but African Americans and the African American community too. So your views on marriage as a woman, as a possible wife.
Yeah, no, I think the example that has been set by you guys and by Nana and Baba is incredible. You guys both are people who like both are pairs of people who found each other, and it's not any type of screaming match or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned that what marriage is Lord, can we this can be
Just go ahead.
Yeah.
You got it.
I've learned
Genuinely, that's right.
I've learned what marriage is about, essentially. Like, I've never gotten the impression that my parents or my grandparents were together for anything besides the reason that they love each other. And everything is done with love also. So, like, if anything, like, as a woman, it's taught me to never accept anything below that.
So, bam, just like that, Sydney and AMIR, ladies and gentlemen. So, AMIR, who is a junior, a sophomore at Hampton, and also a engineer major. Is that correct?
Electrical engineering major.
Electrical engineering major.
Yes, sir.
And you guys have been dating for a couple years, a couple months, a day, 9 months.
9 months.
So if it's funny to me because as I watch you guys move, it's very interesting. I almost see like me and Allison. It's like you guys are, as far as I'm just saying, the way you guys respect each other. It's like it seems very comfortable. You guys seem very real. You guys like cooking in the kitchen together. AMIR offering to help do whatever around the house. And so, AMIR, this is called Reinventing Marc Clarke. It's kind of like, my journey of, weight loss and weight gain, and also career-wise, I've had jobs and lost jobs. And so, and AMIR, I was telling Sydney, she's kind of spoiled because, she came from her parents are married, her grandparents are married, this and that, And so, and AMIR, you know the feeling of parents being together, but you also know the feeling of parents being apart, right?
Yeah.
And so, I was raised by a single woman, and I think it inspired me to say I want to have a certain kind of family, right?
Yeah. Well, my parents were never together per se. Like, well, they split up kind of short after I was born,
Mm-hmm.
so I never like really knew them as being together per se. Like, I always kind of knew them as co-parenting. I lived with my mom and my grandmother and my aunt. Like, that was kind of like the community that raised me per se, because my dad was working 3 jobs, and like then he had to move due to like family issues to Georgia. So then it was really on my mom and my grandmother and my aunt who like raised me and installed certain methods of thinking in my head. So being raised in a house full of women, it kind of makes you have a different level of respect for women, because they had to play both roles in certain times. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom had to play dad, or my grandma had to play dad, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's times where I'd have football games and my mom's there, like, go, like, in her little, manly voice per se, but like, her sporting voice. But like, it's definitely allowed me to respect women in a greater, way of thinking, and just allow me to really treat them better, because like our generation of like men isn't really the best example, you know what I'm saying? Like, our upcoming generation, but like, I've always never wanted to follow that stereotype, just because like my grandparents have, like, my grandmother really like has installed like respect women, because without them we wouldn't be here. So
Yeah, and I mean, you guys seem like you've been together longer than that. And Amir, you and I have a good relationship. I think a great relationship.
yeah.
So since it is Reinventing Marc Clarke, what would you say? What is your assessment of me?
I think you're a great dad. Like, I see how Sydney like really respects you and like looks up to you. Like, she's always talking about you, like, oh, dad does this, or dad did this today, or dad's doing that. Like, she always looks up to you as like a role model, and I don't really see that a lot in like black girls today, or like our age of like girls, because fathers aren't always present. You know what I'm saying? So they don't always have like that sense of respect for themselves. Being that you're there, I really do see like the change that's had in her life compared to like having or meeting other girls where their fathers weren't in their lives. And I think it's made an impact for the better, for the great.
And so thank you for taking care of my daughter, brother.
Always.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Always.